Hotel employees, what's the one thing you wish guests knew happened behind the scenes? Your reviews are seriously listened to. With every property that I have worked at except for a super crappy one, if an employee's name is mentioned negatively in an online review, that isn't necessarily grounds for a write-up, but it's definitely a fast track there. Most properties watch their online reviews like hawks. With almost any situation, unless you are speaking with a manager or someone high up the chain of command, you're a lot more likely to get what you want. High floor with a good view, parking, food charges removed, etc. You're better off being nice rather than rude. I wish people understood how detailed the pay-per-view TV systems are. Oh, you want to dispute that $15 charge because you didn't even watch it? Let me see. Oh yes, you ordered Debbie Does Dallas and watched for 35 minutes the first time, and then 17 minutes the second time. I was thankful for this, on a biz trip, looking through titles, along with notices. Titles won't appear on bill. I accidentally ordered the Enron story, shut it off immediately, called front desk, didn't want to turn into HR my hotel bill with movie rented, name withheld for a freaking movie about Enron. The hotel took it off my bill. We know you're cheating on your wife. I mean, don't get me wrong, we don't care. But don't bother making up a backstory when you're paying in cash 1-2 times a week in the town you live in. But that Toastmasters convention meets every week in this city, and wouldn't you know it, I always max out my credit card. That Expedia takes a 25% cut. We'd much rather have you go with Booking.com, 15%, or even better, contact us directly. I worked overnight in a smallish hotel, 430 rooms, which meant that between about 11:10 p.m. to 5 a.m. I was alone at the desk. I wished more people were considerate to the fact, when I tell you I can't run up to bring you whatever you've called down for because I'm the only person on duty and can't leave the desk and you'll need to come down and get it. I'm not being lazy. I've got a lot of arrivals. Most will come in between 11 p.m. or someone is at the desk checking and asking a question, buying something from the gift shop, or something ridiculous is going on that I'm taking care of. This doesn't mean I'll always say no, but when I do I am actually busy. If you have a do not disturb sign on your door, we technically are not allowed to even knock on your door even if you just called down and asked us to bring you something. Marriott full service property. I do not have secret rooms in the back that I keep just for high tier guests. If I'm sold out, I'm sold out. That we need a credit card for incidentals before we give you keys to a room. If we cannot guarantee payment you will not get keys. Safety is a big concern. Walking up to me and giving your name and asking for a key to a room that is under your wife's name isn't going to fly. I've never met you. I don't know who your wife is. No key for you. Don't get angry at me. Next time put both your names on the reservation. Getting a late checkout is a privilege. Housekeeping works so hard so we have to make sure they leave at the time they're supposed to. I can allow some rooms late checkouts, but after a certain number I have to cut it off out of respect for my co-workers. First come first serve. If you have to have an early check-in because we're going to a wedding and we need to change and do our makeup and take pictures etc, that's nice and I'm happy to do what I can. Less happy if you're demanding and rude about it. But it all depends on what our occupancy was the night before and if housekeeping has cleaned a room for you. If no one has left and you're trying to check in at 9 a.m. when checkout for last night's guests is 11 a.m. and your guaranteed check-in time is 3 p.m. There is literally nothing I can do to help you except to direct you to the lobby restrooms to change. If you need it that early then book the room for the night before as well. And if a room's ready of course I'll check you in. I like weddings and I want you to have fun. I get kickbacks from the restaurant I recommended you go to. Yes, the food is good so it's an honest recommendation, but yeah, there's a reason I always say them. That's all I can think of now. Maybe more later. Getting a late checkout is a privilege. Housekeeping works so hard so we have to make sure they leave at the time they're supposed to. That's really good to know as I've had to do it a few times. I'll have to remember to call as early as possible. I didn't realize the timing made a difference. Things I can't pull out of my butt. A clean room. My property manager. Please, if I say one, or both, are unavailable, please accept it as truth. Housekeeping works their butt off. We had a high turnover one Saturday and they asked people to come in to help strip rooms, take all the sheets off and put them in bags with the towels to be cleaned, to make it quicker for them to get the cleaning done. I work in conference sales and services but went in on my day off to help. My resort is big on we are all one team. Oh my god. I wanted to cry within an hour. I was sweaty, tired, and even with gloves I felt gross. My whole body was sore. We literally were doing such a small part of what housekeeping does every single day. Even as a hotel employee for many years now I truly had no idea. Tip your housekeepers, please. They work so hard. Some other things. If you're a jerk it will be added to comments on your reservation and every time someone, front desk, concierge, etc. pulls you up they will get a nice little warning about how you treated someone else. Anyone who has access to the rooms program, whether it's Opera or God help you V1, can see your entire history with that resort hotel. We get people who try to lie about their past rates all the time, and reservations tracks every time you call with notes so when you call back to try and scam or lie to the next agent they know. At my previous resort I know a few people would also Google map the homes of guests who were very wealthy just to OHH and R or if they were a jerk to find something to mock about it. Lots of googling and looking up LinkedIn profiles of guests. We don't care what you're doing unless it's illegal or annoying. I run the bell desk at a hotel on the strip. No one ever goes through your belongings. Ever. Guests blame the bellperson because they take their items into the back room. People usually misplace their items and blame my team member who helped them but after looking at surveillance video and seeing nothing out of the ordinary, that usually prompts people to take a closer look and they usually find what they had misplaced. Same for mechanics. No, we didn't steal your 60 cents. We don't give a frick about your hula doll, dash cam, boost gauge, air freshener, any of it. A lot of rules are set in stone in the right situation. Last week a snowstorm caused a bunch of accidents that actually made it impossible to get to our hotel because of road closures. People who called and asked were given refunds because of the circumstances, but people who didn't call weren't. We keep extensive notes on you, occupation, kids, anything we can use to tailor our interactions specifically to you. We also keep extensive notes on every dickish thing you've ever done. Scream at me or my coworker, I'm writing a long butt note in your profile while you're still yelling at me. Then when you try to spin it in your post-stay survey, I can point my manager to the detailed and objective note I wrote about why you're an butthole. We also put in the nice comments. I can only grant so many late checkouts without screwing over the entire housekeeping department. Ask at check-in, not 5 minutes before checkout. And don't be aghast when I tell you no. Freaking ask for things. Is the bed too soft? We have bed boards. Is the toilet too high? We have cushions. Need more little shampoos? We have literally thousands of them. But we don't know you need these things unless you ask us. Rant. Hotels overbook as a policy. I guess there is a known statistic that X% of guests will not show up and it is true 99.9% of the time. So show up to your hotel ASAP to ensure that you get your room. Also, the hotel is full of people who expect to be treated like they are the only person in the universe. If someone is taking a long time to get something done it probably means someone stopped them. There is no reason a hotel employee is going to pee off a guest on purpose because they don't know how many days they are going to have to deal with you. We actually held out rooms under the manager's name to combat overbooking. Since you know you'll have stayovers that don't warn you ahead of time or regulars who call at the last minute. In 7 years I worked the front desk I think I only ever walked 3 people. If a guest service rep answers the phone while checking you in, it's not rude. It's because she or he will likely be disciplined for letting the phone ring more than 3 times. No, we do not store personal info inside your keys, idiots. We wash the duvets every month and only wash curtains every quarter. That if someone urinates on the bed we'll clean it and then lay it out in the sun to air out kill bacteria. In some states we're required to enter your room once a week and if you don't want housekeeping to assume your change is a tip please don't leave it on the nightstand. Just because you're the Ultra Platinum member and request an upgrade doesn't mean you'll get it. We're not kicking someone out of a room they booked, and we can't guarantee it until day of check-in. Also, we only upgrade to the next level so if you book a queen we'll upgrade to a king. A king you get a suite, but there are some room types we don't upgrade to. Expedia and similar sites are rip-offs. They charge you the same rate and they pay $20 less, but you can't cancel, get a refund, and if something goes wrong we can't discount your room, so there's no way to make it right. If your card declines or we need you to come to the front desk for any reason, we will lock you out, but play dumb when you come to the front desk to get new keys. Also, late checkout is based on availability and only until check-in time, 3 PM at most places. If housekeeping will still be here we can do it, but if housekeeping will be leaving at 1 and you want to check out at 2, we're not going to pay people to sit around for an hour waiting on you to leave. Also, if you come in a group, like a team, it's so much easier if you hand us a copy of the rooming list instead of us asking individual people who is staying in what room. I worked for 7 years as a front desk manager and a summer in housekeeping, so if I think of anything else I'll update. Expedia, and all sites owned by Expedia. So all the sites really are the worst. Do not book through them. Call the hotel and reserve direct. It makes cancelling or altering a reservation a pain if it's not direct through the hotel. Payment is a hassle too, and usually all the FD staff can do is tell the guest that they have to call Expedia if there is a payment issue. Employees can see where you work. If you do something terrible, they could contact your employer, especially if you're using your employer's name for a special rate. One time there was a guy who stayed at our property a lot and liked to look through windows at people, otherwise be creepy. We had to call his company and let them know that he wasn't welcome at our property anymore. Pretty sure they fired him. The quilt on the bed is not regularly cleaned. The bedsheets, more likely. Not so much a quilt, it's a bed scarf. It's not to be cuddled. Think about it, it's to protect the bed sheets when you put your luggage on the bed so you don't get your gross dirty luggage smeared over the sheets. Take it and throw it on the ground and never touch it again. Use the luggage rack to prop your luggage up. That, despite night audit, third shift, being pretty slow, I do have actual work I need to be doing, and I'm not just sitting on my butt the whole time in between noise complaints and getting people towels or plunging their toilets when the houseman is busy. Please keep in mind that most hotels are pretty understaffed and that at 3 AM, I'm gonna be the only one here, so if you have any issues, they are gonna be resolved once the GM housekeeping maintenance arrives much later if I can't fix them. Night auditor here. I have to set up and prepare the entire breakfast bar. As a night auditor at a hotel smaller than 100 rooms, I'm the only person on the premises. My hotel isn't a full service hotel, and unfortunately, I'm required to stay at the front desk during my first few hours in case there are any straggler check-ins or someone locks themselves out. If you need extra towels, blankets or pillows, I'm more than happy to give them to you. However, I'll need you to come to the front desk. I know it sucks, but we're in a high traffic area, and I hate having an angry arrival who assumes I'm just sitting in the back. Plus, the owners see and hear everything, even from home. Also, please be advised that when you're placed on hold for a long time between the hours of 3 PM, 5 PM, it's because people are checking in and I'm the only person at the front desk. I have to take care of the guests in front of me before I can take calls. So hanging up and calling back to be about being on hold for too long is not going to make me do my job any faster. In fact, I'll end up messing up more often if I'm too overwhelmed with 2 guests coming in and 3 phone calls on hold. One more thing. The breakfast hostess also works by herself, even when we're sold out. If you don't like something or can't eat something, don't be rude about it. We don't know what your dietary restrictions are, and we try to serve a little of everything. TLDR. Try to be understanding of the human that works in hospitality. We really do want to make you feel welcomed, but we can't do everything. There is no standard way that all hotels do things. Just because another hotel does it that way, doesn't mean we do. And if the staff are grumpy, it's usually because of the way management treat them. Hotels have a tendency to overwork and underpay their staff, and it's hard to appear happy you're made to feel like a worthless piece of crap. Same goes for housekeeping. I see a lot of reviews that are like the cleaners need to be taught how to clean properly. Trust me, they know how to clean. They just don't have enough time to. They have a lot of rooms to get done and not enough time to do it. And if they can't keep up, they won't last long. Professional cleaning is very different from home cleaning. If you're in butthole to a hotel employee, there's a good chance they're going to go into the back office and talk crap about how rude you were, etc. And the rest of the staff will groan when they see your name pop up on our caller ID for the rest of your stay. I manage a small division of the front office at a large property, and I promise that the way you treat my staff determines your whole stay. Extra nice to my bellman and it's your birthday, have some free champagne. Extra rude and it's your birthday, I'll make sure I inconvenience you any way that I can without it impacting our reviews. All those friendly looking sites like Trivago or Expedia or Booking.com or whatever take a huge commission. 20%, 25% on small hotels. Pro tip: 99.9% of the time if you find a hotel you like, you will get extra perks, price match and discount, free Wi-Fi, rewards points etc. if you book directly with the hotel chain on the phone or on their website. Also, hotel staff and managers will always look on direct bookers more favorably than Expedia or Booking.com bookers if you come in asking for favors like early check-in, late checkout, upgrades, nice floor, etc. Even if it's not work related, a lot of people do travel for business and use the same rewards number. If you use that rewards number, it shows your business. If you do not use any of that yet still do something truly awful, they've already got your name, address, CC number, etc. Most hotels ask for it and CC and phone number upon arrival. They enter all of that info into their computer base. They can find you. People working the buffet at breakfast cook with one microwave. I'm sorry that the eggs, sausage, and biscuits ran out right at the same time. The eggs have been cooking in the microwave for about 5 minutes and it'll be about another 20 before everything gets refilled. Literally nothing I can do about it. Not working there anymore. Housekeeping literally cleans with professional grade black lights at my property. We can tell if you tried to clean your crap off the walls because it glows red, and, well, there are many colors that mean many things, and we know how freaky you can be. Not hotel, but I work in a hostel. Like mentioned above, the housekeeping does an amazing job. I wish people would realize we are not trying to make their stay miserable. We are not out to get them. We're doing whatever we can with the limited means we have. If the boiler is out of hot water because too many people shower, what exactly do you want me to do about it? We get a lot of backpackers here who are generally a bit more laid back than your typical high-end hotel guest, but even then, some can be a right pain. If I say we only have dorm rooms, then don't come to reception after having paid to complain there is no ensuite bathroom and you don't have the room to yourself. We used to allocate rooms for the remainder of the day and would usually upgrade our regulars, or we'd put the one-nighters in a slightly better room as we tended to sell the standard rooms to walk-ins. Plain and simple, if you were a dong to me and I noticed you'd been allocated a better room, I'd change that crap. Also, if you're complaining to reception about something, just tell them what you want rather than making a big freaking deal and throwing a tantrum during checkout. If you want free breakfast or free parking or an upgrade, just say so. In my hotel, we didn't wash the bed cover or blanket unless there were visible stains or the guest requested it. Only the sheets were washed between every guest, and that's also why there are so many sheets on a hotel bed. Most of what happens behind the scenes is exactly what you would expect. We check in the room, we check out the room, we clean the room. If you're with a group, we prepare your contracts and rooming lists and everything. The unexpected is usually tied to another guest, or a previous guest, that made things more difficult. If you do an online check-in, which is BS by the way, it just makes you feel more in control. You're not actually checked in, and let's say you show up and your room is no longer available, and now you're upset. It could be a number of things. Maybe the previous guest smoked in the room. Maybe it's out of order due to bed bugs or maintenance repairs. Maybe it's because someone got drunk, crap and vomit all over the place and now needs to be taken out of inventory to be deep cleaned. Maybe it's not ready at your guaranteed check-in time because the guest staying in the room is refusing to leave despite attempts to get them to leave. Whatever the case, blame other people, not the hotel. We can only do so much to reduce the amount of bulls caused by hotel guests. Most of the things hotels get complaints about are the results of guests who refuse to follow policies, guests who break things, Guests who ruin things for everyone else, who complain and cause problems. Be kind to your hotel staff. 99% of the time it's not their fault. Also, most hotels can do a lock interrogation. If you complain that housekeeping or room service never showed up, we can see when they scanned the card to come in. If you claim that you never took anything out of the minibar and demand a refund because you claim you weren't even there, yet the lock interrogation proves that you were in your room, you're not getting a refund. At least, not from me, because I'm not about to take crap from a lying Elsie. You'll be amazed at how many local guests go from hotel to W off their wives. There's a couple in our area, a pair of drug addicts who go from hotel to hotel. They even had small kids which presumably were taken away, and he just leaves the room so his wife can make love to random dudes. They are known for breaking TVs and then reporting to corporate that they were checked into a room with a broken TV, and then leaving without paying their bill. Right now, I am a travel consultant for a large resort. I deal with very non-cooperative people every single day. New Yorkers, New Jerseyans, Bostonians. Please be easier to deal with. I beg of you. The more you interrupt and yell over me, the more likely you are to show up to your hotel and hate your stay because you wouldn't let me go over things that you do need to know. Those complaints go back on me, all because of your inability to stop talking for 5 seconds. Those complaints go back on me, all because of your inability to stop talking for 5 seconds.